Oh, hello everyone. Welcome, 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 welcome. I hope you are enjoying the daily lessons. Today we're gonna go over recommendations and opinions in English. So I'm not sure how many of you know how to give recommendations or state your opinions in English, but that's what we're gonna go over today. Hello everyone. So I'm going to give you, I think it's 8 examples of ways that you can give recommendations or your opinions in English. And after we go through them, I want you to write your own sentences, either in the chat or in the comment section, wherever you are able to type. So yes, I want you to try and use the ways that I'm going to give you to write a recommendation or to tell your opinion about something. Okay, so we're going to get into it. Let's see. So look at this colorful board. Okay, so we have 8 different ways to give your opinion or a recommendation, and we have both positive and negative ways. Okay, so I thought that would be easier for people to understand. So let's look at number 1. So we're going to use should be. Okay, should be. So he should be allowed to do what he wants. He should be allowed to do what he wants. So maybe this is an opinion or a recommendation. So I think he should be allowed to do what he wants. All right? Should be allowed. Okay? Let's look at number 2 in the negative. Students shouldn't be required to pay for parking. So I think students shouldn't be required to pay for parking. So I don't know about in your country or at your school. I know when I was in high school, in America, we can drive cars at the age of 16, very, very young. But some kids would drive their cars to school, but I think they had to pay for parking. They had to pay for parking. So if I think that's not a good idea, or if I think that's not fair, I could say students shouldn't be required to pay for parking. However, if I think it's a good idea, I could say students should be required to pay for parking. Okay? Let's look at number 3. We have a different way to give a recommendation or an opinion. People, this word, have you seen this word before? This is ought to, ought to. People ought to be allowed to play music at night. What do you think? What do you think? Do you agree with this opinion? People ought to be allowed to play music at night. Okay, so in American English, as you know, we have the mysterious T sound. So in this case, when we say ought to, we can say ought to, but a lot of the times in American English, you'll hear people say oughta, oughta. So this double T here becomes a flap T, which sounds like a D sound. So people ought to be allowed to. People ought to be. People ought to be, ought to be, ought to be. Okay? So do you agree with number 3 or do you disagree? People ought to be allowed to play music at night. What do you think? Okay? Number 4, sorry, this is a little bit scrunched together. This says children, and then we have the negative. Children ought not to be scolded by strangers. Children ought not to be scolded by strangers. So, number 4, the opinion or the recommendation here is that I don't think children should be or ought not to be scolded. So scolded means like reprimanded or kind of yelled at, like, hey, you shouldn't do that, okay, by strangers. So in this opinion, maybe children's parents or siblings can scold them, but in this opinion, strangers ought not to scold children, okay? Children ought not to be scolded by strangers. What do you think? Do you agree with number 4 or do you disagree? Let me know in the comments. Okay, let's move on to number 5. Laws must be passed, must be passed. So this is a very strong opinion. Laws must be passed to control underage drinking. Laws must be passed to control underage drinking. So I don't know if you drink alcohol in your country or not. In the US, the drinking age is 21. It used to be 16 or 18 when my parents were children. So it's changed in my generation. And in Japan, the drinking age is 20. So do you have a drinking age in your country? If not, or if so, what do you think about it? And here, laws must be passed to control underage drinking. So underage drinking means that kids are drinking under the age where you're allowed to drink. So in the US, 21 is the drinking age, but if you are drinking underage, maybe at 16, 18, 20, that would be considered underage drinking, okay? Number 6, teenagers mustn't be permitted to drive. Okay, what do you think about this one? So as I said before, the driving age in the US is 16. So I got my driver's license when I was 16 years old. I started practicing when I was 15. Oh my goodness. So very, very young. What do you think? And what is the driving age in your country? Do you think teenagers must be permitted to drive or mustn't be permitted to drive? Which do you think? Which do you agree with? Okay. Number 7, a rule has to be made. So this is also very strong. A rule has to be made to require students to bring their own lunch to school. So I don't know in what case this would happen, but a rule has to be made to require students to bring their own, should be lunches. Let's change this to lunches. Lunches to school. What do you think? Do you get, I don't know how many of you are in school right now, but when I was in high school and in middle school, we had a choice. We could bring our own lunch or we could have the school lunch. So what do you think? A rule has to be made to require students to bring their own lunches to school. Agree or disagree? And the last one, number 8, something has got to be done to stop littering. Something has got to be done to stop littering. Okay, so something has got to be done. Something has got to be done. This is also a very strong opinion. Okay, it's very similar. A rule has to be made. Something has got to be done, right? A rule has got to be made. We could also say that as well. All right, and littering, if you don't know, littering is when you throw your garbage on the ground outside. You don't throw it away. Very, very bad habit. All right. We shouldn't litter. Okay. All right, so I hope you can understand all of these different ways to give your recommendations or opinions. Some of them are stronger than others, okay? So please choose one or two or a few ways that you can make your recommendation or opinion. Put them in the comments. I would love to see them. And tell me if you agree with these. Do you agree or disagree? Let me know. Okay. So thank you very much for watching today's lesson. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel, like it, share it with your friends. Excuse me. And if you'd like, we also have a Facebook page where I often do live lessons. So YouTube YouTube, every day we have new lessons. And on the Facebook page, Monday through Friday, I do live lessons. So I hope you stick around. I hope you like these lessons. And I will see you guys tomorrow for another lesson. See you later. Bye.